Hello everyone, this is Dan Gramza and welcome to dangramza.com Market Studies for Monday, February 26th. Well, interesting day on Friday as we talked about in the Thursday's video after NVIDIA came out with their earnings that really boosted the market. It says something about demand and it says something about AI, the demand for that technology. And a rising tide raises all the boats. That's basically what we've seen here in that market. As we talked about in the advanced video, you want to be sensitive to some of the reports coming out next week. We have some economic reports that can really create some volatility for this market. And if you haven't looked at the videos before, the red line means sell, green line means buy, the dash line means it's something that occurred earlier in the week. These are not buy and sell recommendations, just ideas that I'd like to share with you. So, from this previous sell level, from the previous sell level down to that buy level in that market was $500 a contract. And from this sell level here back down to that buy level was $350 a contract. Expectation for Monday, I'm not looking for a dramatic move, but remember the market's going to have some things to key off of. So how we move on Monday is going to be important. One other thing, at dangramza.com, you can look at the previous 10 years of these videos. So you could go back and say, all right, what was happening when this occurred? What was the market doing? What was Dan saying? What were the references that we could look at? And I'm mentioning that in case you haven't looked at futures. It may provide you with a way to get familiar with them, and that's watch them. Over here in the NASDAQ market, it's very orderly. This is not technically in an uptrend yet. It's got some other challenges that must deal with. In the Dow, the difference here between this buy to that sell level, just to give you that reference, is $300 a contract. Follow through also. Not looking for a dramatic move up on Monday. It depends on how it trades in the Asia session. Over here in the Russell, the difference between that sell and buy level in that market is that's $600 a contract. And what are we looking for? An inside day. That market is really behaving differently than we're seeing with these other stock indices. Over here in the euro, also finding sellers at higher levels. It implies a sideways market. Let's talk about what's happening in the Aussie dollar. Here's a market that's slowing down as it's going higher, but we're not seeing the selling paper support that market. And the difference between the sell and buy level in the Aussie dollar was $2,800 a contract. If we look at the British pound, the difference between the buy and sell level there is $212.50. It's also struggling. I'm looking for an inside day on Monday. And in the Canadian dollar. And our friends up north, what we're seeing here is a market that's kind of locked in a sideways market. It's got a bullish bias, but the paper just isn't there yet. The difference between this buy and sell level is $1,000 a contract. Now, in Bitcoin, and again, these numbers are just references to give you an idea of the dollar value. Now, from this buy level to that sell level in Bitcoin, again, to provide that reference, the dollar value there is $37,225 a contract. Just to give you that as a reference. What do we look for here? A market that wants to go higher, but there's no paper behind it. We're not finding those buyers coming in to support it. Now, in the 10-year notes, this is a market that also has a very interesting setup on Friday. A bit of a rally as the yields came off. Dollar difference here between that sell and buy levels $125 a contract. In the Treasury bonds, we also have very similar behavior. This difference here between the sell and buy level is $187.50. Follow through, yes. Big move, no. It's not what we're looking for. In gold, it traded below its sell level. Dollar difference in that market is $1,400 a contract. I also want to point out that if we were a seller here, it failed because the market rallied after that sell. So you want to keep that in mind. Risk management is always critical for all these markets. Anytime you and I make an investment. Over here in silver, the dollar value from this buy level to that sell level is $2,250 a contract. Sideways move is expected. And our friend Mr. Copper, the difference between the buy and sell level in that market, $3,750 a contract. And I'm looking for a sideways move there on Monday. Crude oil, dollar difference buy to sell level. Again, just to provide a reference, $460 a contract. Further movement down, but not a dramatic move lower on Monday. I feel the same way about nat gas. We have a lot of supply, and we're just not seeing the demand for that product. The difference between the sell down to that lower buy level is $4,300 a contract. And the difference between this buy level to that sell level is $300 a contract. So interesting setup. Follow through to the downside. Quite likely that supply demand situation globally, there's a lot of supply and we just don't have the demand. In soybeans, the difference between the sell and buy level on that market, $350 a contract. Again, look at the weather crops in Brazil, Paraguay, Uruguay, Argentina. They're looking pretty good. So globally, we have supply and we don't have the demand. Same thing with corn that we talked about with soybeans and also with wheat. Russia's looking good with their crop. Globally, it looks healthy in terms of supply, and we're not seeing demand soaking it up. So the difference between that sell and buy level there is $250 a contract. Boy, today was a long one, but you and I had a lot to explore together. Well, I hope some of those ideas you find helpful. Look forward to being with you again on Monday. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend and take care.